Hi everybody. I haven't done one of these videos for a while, so I thought I would give you a bit of a video update. It's not all good, but to be perfectly honest with you, I thought it was best to be honest, to put my sort of cards on the table, as it were, and to let you know what the situation is, what my situation is. As we go forward. So, if any of you are watching this, you probably follow the Twitter account, therefore you know the frustrations I've had trying to get the film, the restoration, re-release, back up and running. At the back end of last year, myself and Richard, after numerous chats, came to the sort of conclusion / resignation to a certain extent that if this was ever going to happen, we needed a higher power involved, and in our case it was the BFI. Okay, I've tried to do this on my own, tried to do this with Richard, and it just wasn't happening. We were running into a complete brick wall with Technicolor, where they just kept going back to this situation of where's the paperwork proving this, where's the paperwork proving this, and the bottom line is they were probably never going to give us the negative, because I could never answer the questions they wanted answering or provide the proof they wanted. So we basically, me and Richard had a big chat about it and said, well, look, for the greater good, let's get the BFI involved, because at the end of the day, as I said on a podcast that I was on last year, my quest was to get the film back out there. Wasn't necessarily for me to be the glory guy at the front saying, look at me, everybody, wow, what an amazing job I did. The film was the thing. So we went to the BFI late last year, spoke to a lady there. I sent her all the evidence, everything I'd put together. She took it all on board and said, right, leave it with me, I'll see what I can do. That was now 3 months ago, and nothing has happened since then, nothing whatsoever. I've had a few emails back and forth there, and it's been incredible, all very vague. And so, I don't really know what else I can do now with that. So I'm getting to the stage where I'm sort of thinking, case closed, job done. I tried and I wasn't able to do it. Okay. There's a few personal factors at play, sort of really crappy time at work at the moment. I've been stuck in the middle of a situation that I know I'm in the right, but unfortunately the people above me, I don't need to go into any more sort of stuff there. So that's when I then stuck on the idea with the doing the audio commentary, which I'm going to be doing with Richard next week. So at least I can say, well, look, I did something. I did my bit. I then came up with this idea of a documentary, which I thought, well, if we can't get the bloody film out there with all these people I've made contact with, let's try and do something with it. So let's make a documentary, about the making of the film and how it's just disappeared. And, again, I was very keen not to make it about me, because I'm not that type of person. So it was going to be a film, and I started looking into it, and I've spoken to people, and Richard was okay, and Peter Fetterman was okay, and Colin Towns said he'd be involved, Tom Conti said he'd get involved, and suddenly it was all looking rosy, okay, and I thought, actually, yeah, this is great. I'll try and do that this summer, 2020, and it gives me something tangible to grip onto, okay. Now, when I costed it up with a friend who's doing like mates rates, to film it, edit it, make it look professional, you're probably looking at about $2.5 to $3 grand. This is going to cost to do it properly, okay? To do a good job, to something that I can put out there and say, there you go, there's my life's work, sort of thing. About £3,000. Now, where I've got to the situation now is, I can't see any way that I would raise that money. I was going to have to crowdfund it, which I was fine with. And I sort of, for a little period of time after Christmas, I got quite excited about it. And one of the followers on Twitter did a poster for me, which looked great. Somebody I'm pretty good friends with on Twitter, people wanted to get involved, etc. And so I thought, right, actually, I can really get my teeth into this. I can do this, But one of the issues with me is that I go up and down and up and down and up and down, mentally, etc. And so anyway, earlier this week, I tweeted, and it was a plea for help. Is a bit of an exaggeration, but it was basically, I mean, I literally tweeted saying, guys, I'm really down about this. Can somebody do something to cheer me up? Can somebody just give me a pat on the back and say, you're doing the right thing, you're great. Not you're great, again, that's an egotistical thing, but you're doing the right thing, we're behind you, keep at it, sort of thing. And I tweeted that, and then I retweeted it, because I thought, I'm in a bit of a bad place here and I need a bit of a boost. And it got single-figure likes, single-figure responses. I supposedly have 253 followers on the Twitter account, which again is disheartening, disappointing, considering the account's been going for more than a year now. And I thought, right, so I've got 253 followers, and I've literally tweeted something. Well, I think the GIF I actually put up saying, I need a friend. I needed, not validation, but I needed people to come forward and say, we're supporting you on this. We're behind you. Please stick at it. We know it's hard. We know you're frustrated, but you're doing something that's worthwhile. And it got single-figure responses. All right, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, that pretty much moves into the final straw category, because the last couple of days I've spent thinking, well, if I can't even get more than bloody 10 people to respond to a tweet where I'm basically begging for help, how on earth am I gonna get people to pay to raise £3,000 for me to make a documentary? It ain't gonna happen. It isn't gonna happen. And I thought, why am I gonna put myself through the frustration or the heartache, if you like, of going on to something like Kickstarter, doing a promotional campaign, coming up with perks, filming a promotional video, doing all this stuff to get people putting like 100 quid in, and then me saying, oh shit, it's not, I can't make it, and have the embarrassment of it, really. It's part embarrassment, it's part frustration. I think so. Yeah. So bottom line is that I'm going to do the audio commentary, because that's pretty straightforward to do. I'm going around Richard's house next week to watch the film with him and record us talking while the film is playing in the background, which I can then, if anybody comes to me and says, yeah, I'd like that, I will just send them the audio file. But that may well be it. All right, that may well be it, guys. I don't think I can really go on with this, is what I'm saying, I suppose. I'm not getting enough back to justify what I'm doing. That the amount of frustration it's caused, the amount of annoyance it's caused, going round in circles. And with the pie in the sky thing with the documentary, I thought, wow, this is going to be amazing. And then you start to think, hang on, how in God's name am I going to raise $3,000 when I can't even get 10 people to like a tweet? So it was a dawning realization, in a way, I suppose. And in a way, it's a relief, because I'm thinking, I'll do the audio commentary. That will be available. If anybody ever gets in touch with me in the future, the audio commentary will be there for them to watch, to listen to. So I will have done my bit. Christ, I think I've done my bit to get bloody Full Circle back in the public eye. So yeah, I've done my bit. That as it stands at the moment, that will be me checking out. Game over, man. Yeah, because I just can't carry on putting the amount of effort and the amount of hours and the amount of my mental self into something where deep down I know it isn't going to work, and it hurts me to say that, but in a way it helps me to vocalize it. So if anybody feels let down, I apologize. I think I've tried my best. If you don't think I have, then well, you're entitled to that opinion. I'm going to leave the Twitter account open. I'm not going to shut it down, because if people down in the future, somebody else ever stumbles across it, then they can enjoy all the stuff I've tweeted to that point. But yeah, I just feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. This is now 3.5 years I've been working on this. If something ever comes to light down in the future, if there's some seismic shift, then I will, things may change. But as it stands, I can't keep opening myself up to disappointment, to frustration, and as I say, if I was getting 50, 60, engagement, likes on my tweets, people responding, there was a couple of tweets I put up last week, literally, there was one that literally one person liked, and it's just like, and then you're going to go to those same people and say, can you help? Can you put some money in so I can get $3,000 together? And you're thinking, like, I'm insane. I'm absolutely insane. How on earth would that ever work? So in a way, I'm sort of happy that I've come to this decision. As I say, if anybody feels disappointed or let down, I apologize. But this is about me, really. I need to think about myself. And I was just playing it over the last few days, thinking like, I'm not sure emotionally, psychologically, how I would take the fact of going through all this process of setting up a crowdfunding campaign and then no money to be donated. And I think that would be dangerous for my for my mental state, for that to happen. So I think rather than actually going down that road, I just cut it here. I do the audio commentary because that, like I say, that's easy, and that'll give something, that'll be my legacy, if you like, for Full Circle, and we call it quits. So sorry to have to upload this video, but yeah, that's the situation. I will still be around if people want to get in touch with me, and that's the end of the road, really. So thanks very much for listening to this if you have done, and take care, everybody. All right, thanks, bye-bye.